Hi, this is Tanya from Tanya Love Butter. I'm just going to wait for a few people to come on, and then I have some messages for the Cancer New Moon and the nodes that are changing. So I'm just getting set up here. I was making some notes earlier. Now, I know some people have been saying that they haven't been notified that I'm coming on. So hopefully, there's Jan there. Hi, Jan. Nice to see you. Happy New Year as well, Jan. I hope it's been a good start of the year for you. It's been a very strange one. So, just going to give it another couple of minutes. I'm in a different space here. Is that noise behind me? Is it actually causing a problem to anybody, or can you hear that sound in the internet and everything's okay? Because I never know. Right, okay, there's people coming in. So first of all, I want to say Happy New Year. It's been a long time. Hey, Siesta, how are you? I was just thinking about you the other day. I hope all is well with you. Yeah, it has been a weird one, Jan. It really has. So I was just sitting today, having a day off and all lounging around, and then Spirit said to come on and do a video. Hey, odd goddess. So, like I say, there was a few notes, but as you all know, I just go into it. So I'm as shocked as what comes out, or surprised as what comes out, as you are. So, like I say, first of all, Happy New Year to everybody. I haven't been on here for a while, and that's okay. I'm not going to apologize for that because it's just I'm going with exactly how things feel. And one of the things I've noticed and realized is over this past year or so, the last year, I don't know how many other people agree with this, but I feel it's been very much a time of non doing. I feel a lot of us have been kind of like regulating our system. It's been a tough few years for us. I seen somebody had posted something the other day, a girl called Laura Matsu, who I follow on Instagram, and she's great. I really love the content she puts out, but she spoke of something saying, the ones that stood up and, used their truth and spoke during the time when it was kind of not really welcomed, had a lot to deal with. A lot of us were censored. A lot of us lost friends, family members, all the things like that because of us speaking up. And I feel last year it was almost like we were just, we've got to regulate our nervous system because our nervous system is the key to everything. It really, really is. And I love how now there is so much work and information about the nervous system, because if our nervous system isn't working properly, then nothing is going to work properly. And the more we try and push through it, the harder it's going to be. Now, I was told my whole body shut down because nervous system shut down. And one of the things I was told was ice baths, cold showers, and everything, which actually was doing it more harm because you're going into survival again. You get that euphoria because your body feels you've survived. So it was very much last year a kind of nesting, like everything warm, everything nice, and just being gentle with ourselves. And I really feel coming into this full moon that we have tomorrow, it's a similar theme, but it's different. It's like same, but different. So I'm going to go in with what they've been giving me beforehand, and then I will go into some messages and some cards as well. So yeah, so the first thing that actually came through was that peace is found through rest. And this is what I feel we're all going to be feeling over the next week or so, okay? It's not a time of doing, it's a time of resting, okay? Now, the thing is with this, resting, how people find it hard to rest, okay? We find it hard. We go to sleep, there's stuff going on in our heads all of the time. We wake up and straight away we're in the doing. And I feel this is where we're going to be shown that rest is important, but how much can we rest? And that the rest can be left. All of this stuff that we've got to do, and it's urgent and it's urgent. But is it really? So this is what I feel is going to come up. That's going to be one of the themes that's going to come up with this Cancer new moon, Cancer full moon. No, it's not. They tell me there it's got nothing to do with the moon there. This has got to do with the nodes changing. Okay, right, sorry. So the nodes changed yesterday. I love it when they put me right. So the nodes changed yesterday, and we've gone from having Aries and Libra. So for about the last 10 months, we've had North Node in Aries, South Node in Libra. So this has been very much about the self and the other. Where are we putting other people before us? Where are we putting ourselves before other people? And this last month should have, I hate the word should, but hopefully, we've started to see where we can balance that, where we put healthy boundaries in. Now boundaries, the only people that get annoyed at you putting boundaries in are the ones that were actually benefiting from you not having any. And boundaries are quite hard to do. The hardest thing with boundaries is keeping to them, sticking to them. But I feel, when you're doing it from your core and you're doing it from a place of self-love, then please don't allow the guilt to come in with that. Guilt is the furthest we can get from God. And I hope this last month, people have understood the importance of boundaries and have been able to put them in so that we can give to others once we have given to ourselves. So that was the last month. Now, the nodes changed yesterday into Virgo Pisces. So Virgo is now South Node and Pisces is North Node. And what this is saying is that, Virgo is this is how it's got to be. I need to cross the T's, dot the I's, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Pisces is a lot more flowy. It goes with the flow. Now, Pisces can be illusion as well. It's very creative energy, but it's also the energy of addictions. A lot of people think it's Scorpio. It's not. It's Pisces because we're looking for that escapism. So it's asking us here, can we, this next month is going to be, can we not escape things, but can we look at things creatively? Can we start to create the life that we want? Can we take away some of the rules that we have put on ourselves as well? Because Virgo, Virgo can be very critical, but also it can be self-critical. So I feel this next month, it's about looking at the words that we speak to ourselves. I know some of the things I say to myself, I would never dream of saying to somebody else, no matter what they've done to me. But to me, it just comes in. And then we've got to go, hold on, whose words are these? Are these mine? Or is this something that I've been told about myself? So it's all about actually looking at this and also saying, where are we creating our own pain or creating our own stories? That is going to be very important as well. Now, Pisces doesn't like pain. Pisces will do anything to try and escape the pain. It will be creative, it will paint, it will listen to music, as I say, often taking substances because it likes the illusion that everything is okay, look at the world through rose-tinted eyes. And it doesn't like to tackle that pain. Whereas if you look at all of the greatest artists, musicians or artists or whatever, their pain was their power. That was their muse. I know when I was an artist, some of the work I used to do was dark as hell, but it was something that was inside and it was an outlet for me to get that out. So what Pisces, what these nodes are going to show us as well, is that if we don't actually face our pain, it is going to stay there. Once we face it, it doesn't have that power over us. It stops. So this Pisces is what we're trying to escape, we actually have to face. And once we face it, then, it's like, all right, is that all? Is that it? Now, one of the things within this pain, and this is now tying into this Cancer full moon and what I feel is coming in, is forgiveness. Okay? And one of the things I want to say is forgiveness to our upbringing, to give forgiveness to our parents. Okay. Now, I know this is a tough one. When I work on the alchemy of the soul, the parents one is always the toughest, and this is where our stories start. Or, in fact, they're saying there they start long before, because we have the lineage, we have the DNA. I mean, if we look, every single one of us here actually lived a few weeks inside of our grandma before our mother was born, because the egg that we were born from was actually formed when the fetus that was our mother was weeks old. So we've had a lifetime before we even come into this lifetime. I mean, we've had lifetimes, but energetically, we've experienced everything that our mother experienced, and a lot that our grandmother experienced as well. So take a look back at their stories, and see what was there. Was it pain? Was it pleasure? Was it happy? Was it sad? Was it struggle? Was it strife? And then we can see that a lot of the time, some of the stuff that we're carrying isn't actually ours. It's generational, and it's up to us to break the cycle. And one of the things that can, oh, have I gone? One of the things that can help us to do that is to actually forgive. And when we forgive, that actually, it's not that we're saying that anything bad that was done to us, it's not that we're saying that didn't matter, but it's saying, I'm not going to allow that to change my life anymore. And that is a brave, brave step, to actually step back from our story and go, I'm going to change this. And like I say, we've got this Pisces energy, so this creativity is going to help us to do that, but it does mean looking back at the past. And like I say, looking at this, they often say that the cave we're scared to enter holds the treasure that we seek. So with this Cancer full moon that we have tomorrow, I feel it's very nurturing. It's almost given us that big beanbag, that soft marshmallow that we can sit in and start to look back at our past. I was sitting yesterday, actually, looking at soul retrieval, and it was really interesting when I looked at certain parts in life where I became different afterwards. And what I realized is soul fragmented into different pieces during this time to keep me safe and to stop that pain. But I'm at a point now where I want to call all that back, I want to shine brightest. So in order to do that, I have to look at these times when it wasn't safe for me to feel them feelings. It's safe now. The danger isn't there now. It's safe to feel that pain, because then it gives it an outlet, and then we can work through it. Because what happens is the pain that we are storing is actually playing out within all of our relationships. Every single one, it's playing out in that. And that continues to give us pain. So this is where we need to step back and we need to go, okay, am I ready now? Am I ready to break this cycle? And sometimes this might mean breaking our heart, okay? But when we break our heart, what we're doing is we're letting that pain out. Because one of the steps, or one of the steps, I don't know, one of the stops of us getting what we want is this pain that is deep-rooted, usually in our heart, okay? So we go into relationship with somebody, but we have armor on, and we go, yeah, I'm not going to get hurt again. I'm not, what's that song, Baby Don't Hurt Me? And so what we do is we don't go fully into it, or we don't fully open our heart. We're sitting there with one foot in and one foot out. Now, in order to be in relationship, we've got to go in with 2 feet. Say, this is it. I'm in. I'm all in. It might be challenging. It might be hard. It's going to show me stuff, because relationships are divine assignments, and they're also our mirrors. And look at relationships at this moment that are challenging you. What are they playing out? What old stuff are they playing out? What old, usually parental stuff, are they playing out for you now? And where are you turning into that little child that's trying to change the story this time and make it right and make you be worthy of the love that maybe you didn't get? that you wanted when you were younger. So when we can look at this, we can start to go, right, that's what they're showing us. And then it's up to us. Now, a lot of people think that they're saying that in order to work through it. Once it's recognized, then it's usually a case of, right, I'm going to step back and I'm going to work through it myself. Thank you for showing me what I needed to see, but I'm not going to stay somewhere that's toxic, that is going to carry on wounding me while I am trying to heal. And one of the keys to healing is to feel. Okay, like I say, this Pisces energy, that we're coming into, it doesn't like to feel. It likes to distract from the pain. But if we go straight to the core of the pain, straight to the cause of it, then that's when we can heal quicker. It's like, a lot of Western medicine, they treat the symptom and not the cause. Whereas Eastern medicine goes straight to the cause, and then that works out better because the symptom is something that's been there for a long time before you actually start to get symptoms. So it's going in and taking it out at the root, and then it won't be there anymore. Like weeds, you can put weed killer on them, but they grow back again. So it's actually digging them out at the root. And this is what we need to do with our pain. Go to the root of it. Go to the root cause of it, because I can guarantee that it's playing out in people's lives now. It always is. And until we start to heal that, and until we start to heal that pain, we're always going to be in pain, or we're always going to be trying to avoid pain. And it actually takes a lot of energy to avoid, to look, oh, is that safe? Is that not? Oh, which way am I going to go? That's a lot of energy. Whereas we could be putting that energy into moving us forward rather than actually being held back by the pain in the past, because that's exactly what it's doing. So when we make our peace with the past and we put this to rest, as I started this saying, we put that to rest. And yeah, we can grieve within this. And I feel with this Cancer full moon, there's going to be some grieving. There's going to be some emotions come up. There's going to be some tears, I feel. But I feel them in a very cathartic way. It's cathartic. It's not going to rip at your core. It's not, but it's going to be insights. You're going to see through the illusions. You're going to see where maybe you have perpetuated the pain that you're in. But even with that, I want you to be gentle with yourself with it. Like I said earlier, it's about the words that we speak to ourselves, and have compassion for that. How many times do we hear people, or we do it ourselves, go, oh, I'm such an idiot, I'm such a dumbass, such a goofus, or I'm pathetic. No, you're not. You're just actually trying to navigate life and not get hurt in the way that you have been in the past. And the thing is, we're going to get hurt again within our life. Pain is a part of life, but the suffering is optional. And when we choose to address this and to see this is when we can actually take our power back and go, you know what? Okay, that happened. I'm going to deal with what I feel around it, and then I'm going to move on. Because to keep going back to it is revisiting the pain in our body, our somatics. That pain is in every single cell in our body. So our pain, when we think about it, our body, when we think about it, our body doesn't know whether that is happening again or it's going back to the time that it happened, because our body goes on full alert again. Our nervous system goes into fight or flight, and then, we carry on the cycle. So this Cancer moon, it is soft. It's not about being perfect. It's accepting yourself exactly as you are. It's accepting other people exactly as they are, and then making the choice, is this something that benefits life? My mantra for this year is, if it doesn't evolve me, it doesn't involve me. That's it. I'm done. I'm done with that within work. I help people, I guide people. I don't want to do that in social life neither. So I will always have compassion for people, but it's, there's a difference between compassion and caretaker. And, that causes a lot of problems within relationship, within friendships, within stuff like that. So it's like, say, if I'm not growing, it doesn't evolve me, it doesn't involve me, and that's, again, learning from this Libra Pisces about putting a boundary up and stepping back when it isn't healthy. And then it's not healthy for the other person neither. So I pulled some cards here, and what this is saying, again, is really interesting. The first card that came out was the Empress, but within this card, it's beautiful because it's the mother there. And the mother is showing this little child, look, this is the world, this is what you can have. And they both seem very happy there. However, that is not always the case. Anybody who is a mother or something like that, we know that when we have a new child, it doesn't matter how good our intention is, we're busy doing life as well, and there's a lot of stress there. So what this is saying is, look back to your childhood and go, right, how would you have wanted it to be? If you could create the ideal story of your childhood, how would you have wanted it to be? And actually do that. Look at what it was, see what it is that would have been different, and change the story, change the image of that. Because this, when we go into our shadow, we go into the shadow of our parents and stuff like that, it makes everything visible. And when everything is visible, then we choose, do I want to take that part or do I want to take that part? So this is almost like rewriting our story, but we can't do that if we are scared to look back or we are blocked in looking back. We have to look back and see what we would change about it, and then change the narrative in our head, and look at it as if you are the parent. You are the parent that you needed then. What would you say to that inner child? What would you do differently? How would your life have been different if you were the one parenting you? Because now you have that ability, you have that wisdom, you have that experience, so you can do that. So this is what it's saying. But what it's saying is, in order to do that, we have to face the pain. We've got to face the pain of the past. But when we do, we pull these swords out. It's not, what we don't realize is that we are facing the pain of the past every single day. Every single day it is showing up somewhere in our lives. So by actually being kind of, making a decision to go, right, I am going to look at it now, then it's no longer creeping us up on us, and it's no longer hoodwinking us. Okay, and we're no longer feeling empty as well, because that's one of the things. And this moon is really going to show us, I feel, where is it we feel empty? What part of our heart is missing? And I would say with this, that what they're saying there is the safety. The safety is so important. The safety that we had as children. I was talking to a cousin yesterday, and I used to always open the door and I would always shout, hiya, before I went in, because that tone of the answer I would get back told me, before I'd even walked up the corridor, of what I had to be. Did I have to be happy? Did I have to be funny? Did I have to be quiet? Did I have to be submissive? And it was all in that tone. Now, as a child, they're not meant to be able to pick up on things like that. One of the things that I do say about that is because by being that hyper vigilant, it allowed me to tune in to so different areas, which has now become work. So there was a blessing in that mess. And what it's saying here is this safety. What is it you need to feel safe? Where do you feel safe? Who do you feel safe around? Do you feel safe in your relationships? Do you feel safe in your job? Do you feel safe with your own company? So these are all questions. I'm not giving you the answers here. I'm saying this is a time to get curious with that, and also say, is this how I want the future to be? Because what they're saying here is we can alchemize this, we can transmute this, okay? We can make the changes. Maybe back then, when we were younger and it wasn't safe to do that, we couldn't do them, but now we can. But for some reason, we hold on to these and we hold on to this, and this actually stops us from getting the love that we want. So I want everybody now to say, you're safe. You're safe to be you. You're safe to feel the way that you do. You're supported in doing that. These feelings are coming up because they're wanting you to address them. So don't get caught up in the mind and the story of why these feelings are there. Just allow these feelings space. I'll give them airtime. Notice your shadow, because a lot of times a feeling will come up and we try and stop it. Feeling will come up and we try and stop it. Whereas this is going, okay, show me what you've got. Lay it on the table. I'm prepared to look at it. I see what I want to take and I see what I don't. It's like the image that showed me there. Have you ever been on holiday and people come around selling jewelry and they open it up and they put it on the table and you have a look and whether you want it or not? It's like that. Have it opened up, see what's there, and see what it is that you want. Because you can't get through this with the mind. It's got to be through the feelings. And this is what this Cancer full moon is going to show us. So, what it wants us to see here is that we are now free to choose. We are now free to choose what we want in our life. We're free to trust whoever we want or to not trust whoever we want. This is an inside job, it's saying. It's not about the people around, it's about us. And this is where, again, we have to repair it. This is what it's saying. Be that parent of that child, and almost say to them, what advice would you give? So if you look at what they're saying there, really interesting. If you look at the people that you're around now, okay, like your friend group, your social group, your whatever, look at them and think, if you were a parent and it was your child that was around them people, what advice would you give to them? Because I know mum used to say to me, oh, I don't want you hanging around with that one. I don't like that one. There's something about them. I used to do exactly the same with daughter. So, look at it in that way, because when you realize that you already have the wisdom now, okay, you don't have to look back to the past. You don't have to look back to that. You don't have to take your decisions by what somebody else told you then or somebody else showed you then. This is where the illusion breaks down here. And this is where you come and become in control of your own happiness and your own destiny. This is the awakening there. Look, this is beautiful. I love this. Going from head in the hands to standing up tall, being graceful within this and saying, I'm not choosing this anymore. Putting a block up to the past and going, no, that's it. That was then. This isn't now. I want to build a safe, secure future for myself. I want people around who can build that with me, because I have a plan to move on rather than actually stay stuck. So this is the choice that is coming in with this Cancer full moon. Okay, it's going to be, what are you going to let go of, and what are you going to bring in? Because it's the future that's important now, not the past. Everything has changed in the world. Everything. We're now Pluto in Aquarius, the energies of the world. None of us are ready. None of us are ready for how things are now, so it's really strange having to navigate them. But when we are open to them and we get into surrender and we go, right, okay, this is a new world. So the last one, it's almost like that volume's over. We can't keep living in it. I don't want to keep living in something that happened years ago. I used that story longer than it was even there. So it's about moving forward with this, and this is what this wants us to be, and it wants us to be in joy. Life is not about struggle. It's about being in joy. It's about being in our heart. It's about doing things that light us up, not that actually dim our shine. So it's going to come in quick. It really, really is, because spirit are kind of like, what, there's so much more for us to do now. The world is changing. We've got to be instrumental in raising the consciousness of this planet. We kind of keep sitting, reciting the old story. Let it go now, because there's work to do. And this is it. We're all going to be of service in one way or another. And it's quite a responsibility, that. So if we're sitting there empty, and crying over spilt milk, it's not going to serve us, and it's not going to allow us to serve anybody else. It's actually going to keep us stuck rather than anything. So that's the Cancer full moon. I'm just going to do quickly. It is so hot here. I don't know if you can see me. I'm starting to sweat. I put the heat on before because I was going to I was going to read outside, and then it started to rain. So I came in, it was a bit cold. I put the heating on, and it is literally so hot here. So I'm going to look for fire signs, okay? So I would, with these, your sun, moon, and rising, I would look at, okay? So this is for fire signs. Yeah, it's brilliant, Janet. You know, your true friends who respect you and support you. Exactly, you know, and where you can have uncomfortable conversations with them. That's it, you know, where they take accountability, where you take accountability, where they take responsibility, where you take responsibility. You know, that's it. If that's not there, then it's not there. You know, it needs to be this safe place. And I feel that is so important now. So this is for fire signs, sun, moon, and rising fire signs for this Cancer moon. Okay. Right, what this is saying for fire signs is this is a time to look through the eyes of the heart rather than the head, okay? Your mind is just going to get you stuck. It's stuck in, it's almost like saying cement. I'm being shown here, it's really strange. I'm being shown the, like, Excalibur. That was the sword, wasn't it, of King Arthur? And it's like trying to pull this out the stone. And it's not, because it's not yours to pull out. You know, so stop the struggle, open your heart and see what is in there, because that is what's going to guide you. There's a plan coming for you, fire signs, but it cannot come until you let something go. You've got to make room for it. If you don't make room for it, it cannot come there. Now, this is something that I feel will be very fruitful and very important for your future, for your long term future. It's something that is really going to keep you safe, secure, financially, emotionally, everything. I really like this. It's very connected to the root chakra. So it's really coming in, that's going to be your security, real security. But it's like I say, you cannot get to this if you don't move things out in order to allow this in. Okay. I feel that there's I feel that there's an issue with fire signs around friends as well. Okay. Friends where you're not fully opening up to, because you see that you can't. There's an element of untrust there. Now, when I say untrust, it's like then there's no truth. And if there's no truth and there's no truth and no trust, then is that something I want to be a part of? And it's always no, because truth and trust are really important things. So this is saying fire signs that you might have been feeling a little bit in the dumps lately. You know, you're feeling like, oh God, nothing happens for me. You know, I'm a little bit bored. I don't like this. You know, why am I not having fun? All of this. And I feel it's, really look at the people you're around, look at the people that you're spending your time with. Okay, we become like the five people we're around most. Are they inspiring? Are they um, are they safe for you? You know, do they light you up, or is there a heaviness there? Because I feel that this is a big issue that is coming in for fire signs, okay? And it's there might be a fear of letting these people go, because there might be a fear of being alone, or or something like that. But you're feeling alone anyway. Okay, there's if you can't be yourself in front of friends, then that's not really a friendship. And I feel this is stifling a lot of the creativity for fire signs as well. But you're like kind of going, no, I'm gonna stick in and I'm gonna make it work. And it's like, no, it's not like people go like winners don't quit. It's like no, winners do quit. They quit straight away rather than putting energy into something that isn't going to serve them. So this is the work that I feel that needs to do. Be your own security. If you're always looking for other people to give you that happiness, to give you that inspiration, to give you all of these things that you feel you're lacking, you're going to continue to lack them. Move away from where it's definitely not. And even if you're in that space of solitude, know that you have made space for more inspirational people and more people that are on your wavelength to actually come in and ignite something within you. Okay, so that's for fire signs. Okay, and it's all looking at your own shadow as well, all looking at that. So fire signs, we'll go for earth. No, water signs. Water signs now, they're saying. Water signs, okay, water signs. What do we have for water signs? This Cancer full moon. The good thing about this is the moon likes to be in Cancer. It likes it. It's there. So straight away for water signs, they're saying this is a time of strength. I feel for water signs, this is a real time of strengthening your relationships. Okay, real time of strength. There's support there. There's strength with them. I don't know if something might happen and you see who is there to support you. You know, who is actually stepping up for you as well. Because I'm feeling quite a lot of love within this now. Doesn't have to be necessarily romantic love, you know, it's deeper than that. And I feel it's, you know, when somebody is standing next to you going, yeah, you have a challenging time, okay, we'll do this together, we'll fight this together, you know, that is a beautiful, beautiful gift. And this is what I see. It's almost, I don't feel you leaning on somebody, but I feel somebody just going, I'm here, okay, I'm here, don't worry about it. We'll get through this. And sometimes just that little, just somebody saying that is all that you need. I had this a couple of weeks ago. I thought I was going to have to leave Ibiza early, but I'm not. I'm staying, and it was just somebody simply saying, "Don't worry, it's sorted. We'll sort it." And all I needed was just that little bit, a hand on the shoulder, and then yeah, okay, that's it. It's sorted and worked out better than ever. So sometimes it's, you know, that little bit support when it's true really, really makes a world of difference. And this is what I'm seeing for Cancer signs with here. It's a big healing time, but it's almost like you're being held. The feeling I'm feeling with this is like, I don't know if any of you have ever done plant medicines, or you know, you've gone into ceremony where you do plant medicines, or into healing circles or something like that, because there is somebody there who is holding that space for you. Okay, and this person is there, they're present, they're aware, they know exactly what is going on. And you know, I facilitated a couple of plant medicine circles, and it's so bizarre because I was seeing where they were, seeing exactly, so I could guide it. And this is what it's saying: there are people there to hold space for you as you let go, as you transform, as you move out of this old ways and into this new world. It's almost like, it feels like almost having a doula, you know, like a doula that is birthing you in some way. You know, it's very much like that. And I really feel it's going to help you to restore your faith. It's going to help you to restore your hope. You know, that's all there. So I feel that this is very, it's like the sun is coming out after the old cold winter. Okay. And it'd be a little bit, I want to say, water signs like, you know, be gentle, tread gently, they're saying, because you know, when you come out of a dark place and you see the sun, it might be a little bit bright at first, but what it's saying is just tread gently, take your time. There's no need to make any decisions just yet. This next 4 weeks for water signs are a time of just resting and recuperating, okay? Being grateful for everything that you have around you before you actually make a plan to move. It's not time for that planning. It's not a time of action at this moment, okay? So that will come, and I feel in about 4 weeks. So really try and turn that head off and go into the body and feel your way through these next 4 weeks. And like I say, I feel that there is support that is going to help you or assist you or hold space for you while you do that. Okay. So what do we have? So that was fire, water. Right, now we've got earth. Okay. Earth. Right. Okay. Work. That's what they're saying. Work, work, work. This is what it's talking about. So this moon for earth signs, right? Really, really interesting because I feel it's bringing up a lot of financial. So have a look within your chart of where the Cancer full moon is. What is it illuminating? Because remember, when they're full moons, they're illuminating something, they're showing us something. And like I say, check your sun, moon, and rising. But this is saying, okay, work. What is it you want to do? What is it that's really in your heart? Um, where is it that you go, oh, well, I can't do that because this is what I've done for years? Because what they're saying here is it's almost like I say, I said before, you've got to dig deep to find that treasure. And there is something I feel with earth signs that you might be being guided to that is very different to what you've done. So, maybe look at your career. Are you thinking of a career change? When I'm saying this, well, how does that feel in your body? Are you getting scared or are you getting excited for it? Because again, what this is saying, it's almost like I don't know why I'm getting this song in my head that they're playing. They were playing Sweet Lord before I started doing this to me, George Harrison. I don't know why they were playing that. But what I'm getting with this, and I don't even know the words of the song, but it's this bit. If I were a rich man, diddle, diddle, diddle. What was that off? Was it Fiddler on the Roof? And I don't even know what the words are. Like if when he's saying, if I was a rich man, and then does anybody know what comes after that? Because this is what's coming in for earth signs. It's about starting to look at if you had everything that you want. Now we talk about riches, and riches aren't always financial. Okay, so like I say, I do feel this is financial because it's career, but just know that you can have a rich life without riches as well. Okay, but does anybody know these words? I'm just seeing what people are putting there. I don't want to go off on this. Okay, I'll do this and then I'll read them. So it's very much like that. What would you do? What would you do if money was no object? What would you do if you knew you had financial freedom for the rest of your life? Would you still be doing the career that you're doing now, or would you make different choices? Because there's something coming in that is healing your money blocks, your healing your wounds that are connected to money and connected to success. Okay, that's going to be massively highlighted for earth signs. And it's almost like I don't want you to. I do all day long. I diddle diddle dum. I love that, and it's. I don't want you to like with this. I don't want you to be too hard on yourself because these wounds are there. Okay, they're going to be shown. See them. See which one is real and which one isn't. I was working with a coach the other night, and something that came out was really interesting. And what it said is a lot of times when we're making a plan, we're making it from a place of scarcity, and we're making that plan to not lose rather than to win. Okay. So if we are creating something from a creative place, that's where it's coming. When we're creating it from a place of survival, it is not creativity. It's not true creativity. And the intention won't actually follow through with that. Okay, so start to look at that. Start to look at your water earth sign. Start to look at your ideas about money. So if I said to you, what does money do? Money makes, what would your answer be with that? Because that will tell you where to look with it. Okay, money is just energy. If we can't accept that, we can't accept any other things. So this is what it's wanting us to look at the bigger picture, and it's wanting us to take away any limits that we have or any limiting beliefs. I mean, especially when we look at money and finances, we were all brought up where it's like we don't waste, and I mean, waste not good, but it's like, who do you think I am, Rockefeller? Money doesn't grow on trees, things like that. I was brought up in the northeast of England. It was always struggle. Do you know what I mean? If you're not struggling, then you're not working, and that isn't the case. And the thing is, these people that were working hard and hard and hard, didn't do anything with that money that they'd earned. They kept it in the bank like Scrooge, because it was like, oh, one day I'll need this, rather than having that rich life, where they would have probably ended up making more. Because if you're coming from this creative space, everything that you do will be a success, because you're not chasing and you're not grasping, you're not coming from a place of lack. So this is really, really important, water signs. And there's I feel, earth signs, sorry. This might be coming in for water signs as well, because I've said that a couple of times. So what I want to say here, right, is there could be some earth signs that have had an idea. Okay, they've had that light bulb moment, they've got this idea, it's swimming around somewhere in their head, and it keeps coming back to them all the time, but they're scared of moving forward with it in case they fail. Okay, now what I want to say here is the only time you're guaranteed to fail is if you don't try it. That is where failure comes in. So this idea that is there, I want you to let it loose. Let it loose. Make some changes. Step out of your comfort zone. Okay? Again, look at where the mother comes in with this earth signs, because there's something to do with the mother that is keeping us limited. And what this is saying is, step out of that comfort zone, step out of that safety, and that's when success will be yours. Okay? There's celebration coming with this, but you've got to take that first move. So that's earth signs. So last one is air signs. This is so hot. It's so hot here. It's like being in a sauna. It's really funny. It's really funny. So this is for earth signs. No, it's not. It's air signs. What? You know what? Just read all of them. I feel, because it's almost like an amalgamation. Everything is just blending in there. Oh, thank you, Siesta. Beautiful affirmations. That was another thing. So, Preston Smiles, who is an amazing coach, if any of you have ever worked with him, he's fantastic. And he talks about affirmations, and he calls them affirmations. So it comes from you. I'm thankful for that. And this is the thing. We don't see it there. We feel the feeling that we've got, or we're going to get when we've got it. That's what brings us to it. No amount of vision board is going to get us there unless we're feeling it. It's the feeling that actually depicts our frequency, depicts the people that are around us, depicts what we attract to us, So they're all hitting home. That's great, Jacqueline. Thank you. So pleased. Right, okay, so this is for air signs. Air signs. Yeah, it's freezing in the UK, so I hear. I'm not looking forward to going back, but I will. And I might be away again. I don't know. Yeah, I'm completely in surrender. It's like, let the universe take me wherever it wants to go. So air signs. Right, okay. This Cancer moon, I feel, it's going to affect you in ways of communication. Okay. Now, I feel this could be where there has been blocks in communication. So this could be communication of people that you might not have spoken to for a while, where there has been an old story that has continued and continued. This might be within the family, this might be within a friendship. It's something where there's been a cut off and a fallout, okay? And for some reason with this, it's being brought up because it needs to be put to bed. Now, whether it needs to be put to bed in order for it to carry on or just to close the case, that's what it's saying, But I feel there is something. They're showing me poppies here, okay? They're showing me poppies, and poppies I always see as remembrance and bloodshed. That's what they were meant to signify. I'm not saying that this is about bloodshed, but what I'm saying is it wasn't good times, that they want us to remember. So there is something within this that, this could have been over an inheritance or something like that. I don't know. That won't be for all air signs, but that could be for some, okay? This could have been a fallout with inheritance or something like that. But what it's asking you to do here, because I do feel that it's time for the words to heal. These words can be healing. So I don't feel these words are aggressive or nasty. I feel they have been in the past. But with this, what I'm asking, or what they're saying here, is please see it from the other side. Now, there are always three sides to the truth. There are yours, there are theirs, and then there is the truth. And if you can be strong enough and brave enough to see where they might be coming from, okay, and meet somewhere in the middle, that can actually heal so much. And that shows that you are the bigger person. So this is what it is. It might be that it's asking you to make the first move for somebody where there's a fallout, somebody where there was a mistrust. Can you make the first move to make it right? Okay. I always work with the Ho'oponopono. If ever there is the energy changes with somebody, it's the Ho'oponopono, and that actually translated means to make things right. And it's, I'm sorry, forgive me, thank you, I love you. Now none of that is owning it and saying that it's your fault. It's, I'm sorry, I let it go on this long. Forgive me for not stopping it sooner. I love you because on a soul level, that's what we do. And thank you because you've either shown me that I need you in my life or I don't. So when we look at it there, it's very, very different. And this is what it's saying. It's almost be in your strength with this, but also use your wisdom. It will be challenging for you, I feel. It will be, but you are in a position now where I feel that you can do it. And all this, like, it's cutting you off. That's what it's doing. It's actually you've cut yourself off from basically enjoying life because you are holding on to this, whatever this old thing is. And it's just saying here, in the court of karmic law, none of this matters. Now, I don't know if any of you have looked at the Court of Atonement. Maybe look at that. That is a really interesting thing to look up. But what it's saying here is, if you are wanting to heal air signs, okay, if you are wanting to heal, you've got to actually go into this, because this is a source of pain which is actually stopping you from having the happiness that you want, and it's stopping you from going forward long term. And I feel this moon is coming in to heal this situation. So where could you give compassion to somewhere where it has caused you pain? Where is it you can actually take the personal out of it and see it from a neutral space? Where is it you can have the strength to want harmony rather than harm? And where is it you can let this old story just fall down, and actually see it with new eyes? Even if this means moving on fully, at least you make peace with the past before you actually do that. So that's what's coming in for air signs. So these cards were quite powerful, I feel. I'm just going to read people's messages there, because it often, when I go to read them, it takes me off. So what have I got? I'm not accepting the blame anymore. Where are you now? I'm in Ibiza, Jan. I'm back in Ibiza. It's my home, it's home. I love the place. And apparently it loves me as well. You didn't get the notification. Yeah, they're not, man. It's I don't know what's. I'm looking for another platform, I think, to work on this. So I don't know. I will let you all know if I do. I felt very emotional this last few weeks too. I work through it and just allow it to flow so I can glow again. Yeah, I even find out well up at silly things. Sometimes, yeah. I was crying at the Gilmore Girls today. Don't tell anybody. That's my street cred gone. Maybe picking up on the global energies at the minute with certain events taking place as Mother Nature does her thing. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to mention that. Obviously, there is mass compassion that is going out there. I have a lot of friends in LA, and I've been on the phone to them as well. So it's I'm aware of that. But one of the things after these last few years is, it's just been, it's not addressing things, but it's, is that healthy to actually be, to bring that energy in. And like I say, it was very exhausting. You'll know this yourself, when we're there and we're on the front line. And obviously it's just about, I want to raise the consciousness. There is mass compassion there. And like I say, with a personal life, I've been doing what I can, but within working life, this is about kind of raising the consciousness so that we can move through that. I believe that light workers, I hate that term, but I believe, and I've been shown that it is in these times that we need to just guide people back, back on track, rather than focusing on, the atrocities and the things like that. If we say nature is never wrong, nature always wins. So it's just a case of, like I say, being in surrender, having compassion, staying kind, and helping where we can. And I feel that is the most important. So Eric Teese, I apologize for our missed connection. Universe had other plans to see the masks off. You are still found intimidating in moments of this ever present. Thank you. Right, okay, that's quite interesting. I don't know if I know who that is. Send me a message. Thank you for that message. If you want to elaborate on that, please email me. It's connect@tanyaloveboda.com. Because, yeah, sorry if I don't recognize who that is. All day long, I diddle dum. I love that one. Best news I've had in a while. Such beautiful affirmations. Thank you. Siesta. No, thank you. Like I say, you popped in my head the other day. I am, so therefore I can, and I do. It's freezing cold. Could be worse living in California. Yeah. Gosh, you have been traveling, Tanya. Instagram is better at notifying of lives. Yeah. It's just I don't know. Instagram's a stream. I don't know. It will come out. I was called to do it today, and I came onto here. So Corey, nice to see your face, beautiful lady. Thank you. New place you are living. Yeah, again, not permanent, but yeah, I've been away for the winter, so I'm back in Ibiza, and I'm in the countryside. I'm in a forest, and it's fabulous. I absolutely love it. I'm very, very blessed, very, very blessed, and it's very healing. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't really been on Instagram for a while. Like I say, this last year, I've done very little. I've been very inhuman, but there are new things coming, a lot of different things. I'm just waiting for them to land. I still feel, yeah, it's home. Ibiza keeps pulling me back. It's home. Well, I believe Ibiza is mother, so I will always draw me back here for some reason. So, yeah, what was I going to say? Yeah, so I am really, the messages I'm getting at this moment is it's still very much a winter, and like everybody was doing this Happy New Year thing, and I just didn't feel it. I was in bed for on New Year's Eve, had a wonderful, amazing spiritual day, like random spiritual day on New Year's Eve, but then I was in bed by 10:30, and it was like, right, okay, I get where this is, and it's. I really feel that, it's in the springtime. This is when we need to work, because a lot of people make New Year's resolutions and everything like that for the new year, and it's not the new year. It's still winter. It's not supported, and this is why I feel so many of them don't come to fruition, because it's not the right time. So it's take this time to unwind, to get cozy, to even plan strategy, to even, this is a time of planning. If you think of the trees and stuff like that, they lose their leaves, but it doesn't mean that nothing's happening. They're just getting ready, so in springtime, then buds can shoot again. So that's where I'm very, very feeling that within with their own body, with their own soul, and stuff like that. So it's, yeah, I'm hibernating. I'm completely hibernating. In human design as well, my best place is caves. So I've definitely got into cave, but it's not in a depression. It's not in anything like that. It's in an appreciation and knowing that this time is valuable. You know, my body has been broken. My body really said no to me. So it's, you know, I'm working, I'm, you know, getting Reiki, I'm doing all good things, I'm looking after it, I'm being careful of what I'm putting into it. And it's, you know, this is years it's took its toll. So it's not going to be straight away. And, you know, I'm really having to look after my energy and put my energy where it's going to be of benefit and not where it's not. So, you know, it's self-care is a hard one. I'm only just learning it. But you know, it feels good and it feels nice. So yeah, it's a wonderful surprise and a treat when you come on. Oh, thank you so much, Jacqueline. Thank you. So that's it. Does anybody have any questions or anything before I go? Because I'm going to go in a bit, but does anybody have any questions? If you don't, then I'll just go. Use it. Use this time. And I'm here. I don't know if any of you see Instagram yesterday. I did post yesterday, and it was I'd been asking about live, you know, and what that was about, and it was quite interesting. You know, I feel there's like a purification coming with this year. I mean, everybody's going, oh yeah, it's going to be a great year. It's going to be a great year. Blah blah blah. You look at the astrology of it. It's going to be fucking wild. That's what it's going to be. But I feel all of us know enough now just to stay in our own lane. You know, don't believe the hype, don't believe the noise, stay in our own lane. You know, like I say, be kind, be compassionate, be loving, have boundaries, you know, and know that this too shall pass. We don't want to get caught up in the drama of things as well. It's dharma, not drama, you know. And what this is saying, you know, is that we are going through big changes, okay? And especially in the States, they're going through that Pluto return and stuff, man. It's a lot, and we're going through huge. I don't think people realize the enormity of the changes that we're going through on this planet at the moment, and that we are privy to. We were incarnated at this time, you know, so it's a really good time to be alive. Now, I was listening to Steve Judd the other day, an astrologer, and he was talking about it. And one of the things he ended it with was find the humor, even if it hurts. And that's what we've got to do. You know, I remember Nana, you know, telling me that her favorite time of her life was during the Blitz, you know, being in the area shelters and people having fun, people having joy, no matter what was going on around them. And yeah, I can imagine she was scared then, but, you know, and she forgets that stuff. But that's what we've got to do. We've got to have this camaraderie and know that if, you know, with every revolution, which is what this year is saying it's going to be, there needs to be changes. And we cannot, it doesn't just go, all right, okay, it's changed. There's this transition period. You know, anybody knows that, you know, if you've moved house, the packing up, the packing in the boxes, the getting into the new house, you know, all of that, it's chaotic, you know, it's stressful. It's everybody shouting at each other and all of that. But then when you get everything in its right place, it's calm again. So think of that on a global scale. That's what's happening. We're shifting, you know, and that is, it's not going to be easy. And there are going to be some times within this, you know, it's like, you know, we look at the last time this happened, you know, the last time we had the energies like this was the American Revolution, the French Revolution, you know, all great things, but they didn't come easy. So like I say, it's not all going to be unicorns and rainbows this year, but if we can keep in the middle line and keep aligned with ourselves, this is why it's wanting us to get rid of our shit that we're carrying, you know? It's going to be too heavy for us to carry, you know, and if it's heavy, it's not ours. It's not what we're meant to be in, you know, and the theme for this year is revolution. That's what the I Ching told me yesterday, you know, so it's like, you know, there is a war going on, you know, a war of consciousness, I feel. And it's just, you know, choose with that. Which side do you want to be on with that? You know, are you there to raise the consciousness, or do you want to bring it down? Because that is so important, I feel, you know. Yeah, so I look well, thank you. You to see this year sort of personal reading when you start doing them maybe needed. Oh wow, Jacqueline, yeah, that would be cool. Just email me and I'll see what I can do. The end of it looks like a bastard. My son is getting married on the 27th. Focus on the marriage. Focus on the union, because that is, it's. I know I go on about all this. I've been having some amazing conversations over here, like literally amazing. It's like, oh God, I get it, but it's the union which you're talking about there. It's the masculine feminine joining together. That is when we reach divinity. This is the masculine and feminine within us. This is the masculine and feminine within the world. When we get rid of our wounds, when we stop blaming each other for them, take responsibility for them, actually heal them, and are in places where we are safe to to come together rather than be segregated and pointing fingers. That's where it is. It's when we're holding hands, not pointing fingers. Whoa, that's pretty powerful there. So yeah, when we're holding hands, not pointing fingers, that's where there is going to be a huge, huge shift in consciousness for us. So yeah, I love it. There's a lot of things I've got to be careful what I say on here, because I don't want people freaking out and stuff like that, but it's going to be okay. We're going to get through it. Okay. Stay in your own lane, and like I say, lead from the heart, not from the head. Okay? The heart only knows love. The head can be poisoned by thoughts and things that aren't necessarily real. Okay? So yeah, that's working with autistic children right now. They are amazing. Keep you grounded. Exactly. I babysat last week for friends, little boy, and he's 5 months. And oh God, honestly, it was so amazing. He's such a little sweetie, and to feel that love, and to see that innocence. And we had such a good conversation. I was asking him what he remembered and everything, and he was gurgling away to me. It was really fun. So yeah, that's it. Like I say, I always, when I was traveling during lockdown, I would always it was a very stressful time, in the airports and everything. And I would always pick a child, just make contact with them. That child's energy, they're pure, And this is what we are. We were that child, but then we got all of this stuff to carry from other people. So time to let it all go, take that off our back and become that child again. See the world through childlike wonder, see unconditional love, and and to play and to enjoy. That is what we need to go back to, and it's beautiful. So when we grow up, we want to be children again. So I'm going to go. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you being here. Like I say, I know there's some people don't get new notifications now. And it's, what do I do? But it's not about, it's not about likes. I feel the people that come on here, they're here to hear, so thank you all for that. And the message will go where it's needed. And happy 6 months to your grandson, Jan. What a blessing. Okay, so I send you all so much love, and just like I say, keep that heart open. And if there's anything in it that is blocking the way, give it a clean out. Okay, get rid of it. And yeah, an open heart is probably one of the hardest things to live with in this day and age, but it is the most essential. So from my heart to yours, I send so much love. And yeah, see you on the flip side. Sat now.